lastly, Jess, I would like to ask you one really important question. So now being crowned our Miss Earth Australia, Miss Earth, sorry, Miss Earth 2024, what are your plans for next year in regards to promoting the protection of our environment?
What a fantastic question. Thank you so much. Miss Earth is so much more than just a crown to me. It's a platform to advocate for future sustainability for our Earth, for so many different pathways and initiatives that I think we as Australians are really great at innovating and coming up with. I'm really passionate about using this platform to shed light on these current activities. Something I'm really looking forward to is working with the Sea Shepherd organisation and Envoy to have the shark nets in Queensland and New South Wales ethically replaced and removed. This will be a massive struggle, I believe. I think there's a lot of people set in their ways, but this is part of being a voice for the environment. There are people who may question you on day-to-day activities and who may ask why you're bothering. We're in a climate crisis. Why should you care? Why should you try and aim for change? But I believe that if each of us comes together and works hard for that common goal, then we can actually provide a difference and create that change. So I'll be working closely with those organisations to hopefully get those shark nets replaced. And there are many other activities in the works. That's just the first one on the books.
That's so lovely.
I'm very excited to get started and use this platform for good.
Yes, of course. Beauty and the brains. And the passion. Okay. Now, Selena, I would also like to ask you a quick question. What was your experience like competing internationally compared to here in Australia? Because Tokyo, Japan, that's big. That is really big.
It was honestly an amazing experience competing in Miss International, and it's been a dream come true for me to compete internationally and really creating that recognition of pageantry in Australia, because we are not quite a pageant country yet, and I believe by having representatives of Australia in these international pageants, we are taking steps towards introducing it on a greater scale here in Australia. And honestly, Japan, everyone has to go to Japan. It is amazing, beautiful, and I think if Australia can take on a few aspects of Japan, like their kindness, their cleanliness, their respect for people, I believe we're leading to a more peaceful and prosperous community.
Wonderful. That was so insightful, and I definitely want to head to Japan. Yes. Maybe next year. I'll try to save up for it. Yeah. Anyways, I would like to call on Mark for the welcome note. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Hi, Queens. Thanks, everyone. I'm Mark. So I'm part of the Stargazer production. So I'm out of the board of directors. And of course, Stargazer Production is the owner, license holder of Miss Earth Australia and Miss International Australia. And I'm very proud that this year is like a fruitful year for Stargazer Production because all of our queens actually placed in the competition. So sadly, I just want to pay apologies to one of our queens, also Miss Echo International, Miss Echo Australia, Mrs. Riley, who can be parted here. But yes, top 20 for Stelina, top Oceania Continental Queen for Riley, and of course, the main crown, Miss Earth for Jessica. What else can we ask for? So we're very excited. We're very happy, and I'm thankful for all the video friends who are here today. So to celebrate this, and I just want to say like that. There are more stories next year, and welcome. So thank you.
I'd like to ask the first question. Yes, Marley.
My name is Mary Lubomediano. I'm from the Philippine Community Herald. I also present BNS TV, South Korea, as well as Ang Balita Australia, which is Tagalog, and Sandigan Reporter in English, and two radios, Radio Rizal and Sandigan Radio. I understand that Jessica has been in the Philippines recently in the islands. Can you tell us more about that experience, that feeling of being there, and how does it feel exactly before you went and after you came back?
Thank you so much. Well, I was in the Philippines for just shy of 2 months and I absolutely loved it. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. I was in the Philippines for just shy of 2 months and absolutely loved every moment that I was there. It's such a beautiful place with incredible people. I really do believe that the Australian and Filipino communities are quite in sync in our compassion for one another and our respect for our communities. In regards to traveling the islands, I fell in love with the biodiversity of the islands in the Philippines. I'm a big promoter of ecotourism. I believe that one should not travel and take from the land, but rather have experiences and give back. So to be a part of not only the adventures that so many islands have to give, we went ziplining in Palawan, and I volunteered at turtle care in, I believe it was, forget now exactly where, but it was also in Palawan. And I just absolutely loved it. There's so much biodiversity and passion for our environment. And I believe that if main cities and larger communities try and continue this passion and instigate innovations to try and promote that ecotourism, it can really provide a big change for the industry. But I absolutely love the Philippines. Can't wait to go back.
Thank you, Jessica.
Thank you.
Question on that. But first, congratulations to the both of you, queens. So, for the both of you, how does it feel to represent the country in the global stage? Any one of you can answer.
Who would like to go first? Selena.
Don't mind, sure. Honestly, it's a dream come true to represent Australia. I've always been that little girl watching pageants and really dreaming of putting myself up there. But when I was young, I really didn't see myself as able to be up there. I didn't see my value. However, I've actually, through putting myself out there, getting outside my comfort zone, I now see the value of pageants. And I believe that every girl should believe in themselves, and that's halfway to winning. So I think at the end of the day, although I did not win the pageant, I really won in self-development and learning to love myself. So I think everyone should put themselves out there and just try, because you never know until you put yourself out there.
Absolutely. Well said. Representing Australia is a dream come true for me. I could not be more proud to call myself an Australian. This country has my heart, and it's such an honour, truly, to not only be Miss Earth Australia, which I thought was definitely the furthest I'd go in pageantry, and then to come home as Miss Earth, being the first Australian to win a major pageant since 2004 when Jennifer Hawkins won Miss Universe. And she did so much for herself and her personal brand through that success. All I can do is continue that legacy and hope that Australia, as you said, we're not really a pageant country, but pageantry is an industry that promotes young women and their goals, and is in itself the only platform there is for a young woman who hasn't built her own career, who hasn't got that foundation to make a name for herself. So to have that position and platform as a representative for not only Australia, but young women everywhere who want to make their goals happen and don't know where to start, it's just such an incredible honour, truly. I'm so grateful to be not only Miss Earth Australia, but now Miss Earth.
Lovely, guys. That was a beautiful story from both of you guys. Next. Yes.
You born to be Miss Earth. Since you were 10 years old, you start your growing your path, helping, promoting, and air is always been in your veins. Like be Miss Earth is just putting the crown to someone that born to be that. And all the effort that you're doing with the studying the journalists, learn how to write, and your commitment with animals, with air, is amazing. First of all, I want to congratulate you. I'm so pleased to be able to be here and be able to take some shots of you. It's a pleasure. What is next? How you gonna make that a story that you have in you to promote and save the planet Earth? Thank you very much.
Thank you. Wow, what a fantastic question. And the originer and the question too. You've done your research. I like that a lot. You're absolutely right. I haven't had to change who I am to be Miss Earth at all. It's in my inherent being to care about Mother Nature. It's why I believe I was put on this earth. I've spent my entire life caring for our environment, our wildlife, and looking at new ways that we as individuals can make a difference. I truly believe in the power of our actions. Each individual action may not seem like it has an impact, but when it gets down to it, it truly does. So with this platform that I only have for 1 year, I hope to highlight that to the best of my ability. It's part of my advocacy dress for tomorrow, explaining and educating people around the impact that our fashion choices have on the earth. It's actually why I'm in this dress today. This dress has already seen a press conference, but through recycling, we can significantly reduce our CO2 emissions. By cutting out fast fashions, we'd reduce climate emissions by more than 50%. This is massive, as fast fashion is one of our biggest CO2 emitters, beating maritime and air travel combined. So with this platform, I really hope to just educate people and start the conversation that our actions have impact. Following on from that, I really hope to one day live out my dream of being a National Geographic explorer. It's part of my journalism career. It's definitely shapes into Miss Earth. It involves traveling and immersing yourself in native communities, cultures, habitats, and writing about what we need to do to help them. And I really hope that with Miss Earth, I can make these dreams all a reality. Thank you.
Just a follow-up question. As you've mentioned, your advocacy revolves around environmental sustainability and combating fast fashion. With the holiday season approaching, how do you plan to use your platform to address the environmental impact of wasted garments and unwanted Christmas gifts? And of course, what sustainable gift-giving practices would you encourage?
Thank you so much. It's a very relevant question. And I actually did a news story on this for my work quite recently. One, I suppose, practice that I would really recommend people using if they hope to shop more sustainably and reduce their carbon footprint during the Christmas season is to shop locally. By promoting and providing a platform for those local outlets, especially homemade gifts or family-run businesses, these are industries that can really use our help, and by shopping locally, we can reduce CO2 emissions a lot more than one may expect. Online shopping has skyrocketed since COVID and is certainly a fantastic platform, especially if you have family living far away. However, when you include not only the maritime and air shipping fees and their CO2 emissions, but further the cost that it may take to produce that item compared to shopping locally, it's quite staggering. So if we all just support our local communities, we can seriously assist in sustainable gift giving. I would also recommend talking to the people that you love and making sure that the gifts you're giving is something that they actually want and like. We've all received an awkward gift in our lives, I know that, and it's not fun having to figure out what to do with it. So by thinking with your heart and shopping locally, we can seriously impact these gift-giving strategies and continue to help our Earth. Thank you so much. Any other questions?
Yes.
Yes.
I want to ask.
I'll hold it for you, don't worry.
Hi, how are you? I think I just want to ask you, not just a question like you answer like normally. I just want to ask you like, say, a videographer and photographer. I always wonder with the model they having photos and they famous and everyone like taking photo with them. Just I want to ask you as a model, what the easy time you got, what the hard time you get as a human like behind the scene. So what the hard time you get with your work, like do you spend hard time, sometimes you get difficult problems when you as a model, and what's easy time you like about your job. So one of you, she can answer, or you, one of you, or both of you, you can answer the question.
So the question was, what's hard about modelling? Is that the question?
Like easy time and hard time as a model, yeah.
Okay, so I think the hard thing about being a model is the stereotypes that's behind it. I think people just see models as external beauty, which is actually what got me into pageantry, is that it's not just what you turn up on stage, it's also self-development, it's being passionate about something and advocating for something greater than yourself. So I've been working on women empowerment and volunteering at my local charity Dress for Success. So I've helped women from domestic violence backgrounds, people that are being robbed, or people who don't even have self-confidence. And so I've really used my platform in modelling and pageantry to do something greater than just myself. So, but that can be really challenging when people don't see you for that. So that's the greatest difficulty, but I guess the thing I like the most is the fashion. So I have a passion for fashion. I love dressing up and feeling beautiful and feeling like the best version of myself. So that's my favourite part.
Fantastic. Quite similarly, I do think the hardest part about modelling is the stereotypes surrounding it. When I was 18, I had my first ever taste of modelling, and a close friend of mine had a sustainable fashion store. She upcycled used garments and just needed a friend to do some modelling. I told my granddad about this, and he told me I was way too smart to ever be a model. That's part of why I stepped into pageantry. These girls have so much more than just good looks. They have such passion and wisdom and goals. Their strength is truly inspiring, and I really hope to continue sharing that with people, that yes, the way you look is the first thing people see about you, so you should take pride in it and love yourself, but it should be so much deeper than that. Your skin is simply the shell that holds your soul and your mind, and to really develop that is where your true beauty can shine. And the best part is the friends that you make along the way and the adventures. I've had photo shoots in locations in the past 2 months I never thought I'd be privileged enough to ever see. Going to the Philippines was such an honour, and I know that there's going to be many more incredible journeys just around the corner, so I'd have to say that's the best part. Thank you so much.
Okay, last question. Okay, what's your plan to the future? Are you wanna still as a model, or you look into different work, like you wanna quit or something? What's your plan? Both of you, thank you.
Thank you, darling. Well, I hope to grow my platform to influence as many people as possible. My life goal, as I mentioned earlier, the reason I think I'm here is to be a voice for Mother Nature, and that is all I truly hope to do with my life, is to create whatever difference I'm capable of. But in order to do that, one must grow their circle of influence to an adaptable range. The large reason why I became a journalist is to hopefully inspire people through the written word and to shine light on crises that they may not be aware of. As Miss Earth, this influence has broadened so much more than I could have possibly imagined. If modelling and movies and opportunities come up that are just incredible opportunities, why would you say no to that? They're incredible stories to tell your grandkids. But at the end of the day, my ultimate career goal is to be a voice for the earth, and whatever helps that platform broaden is a very good thing in my opinion.
Yes, I'm very similar. So I think with the Miss International pageant comes many opportunities, and it has certainly increased my span in the modelling world, So I would like to continue modelling and trying new things. As you said, acting is something I'm also interested in, so I think you never know until you try something. So I'd like to expand from pageantry as well, and often continue in the future potentially. But yes, I'd like to continue modelling and see where that can take me.
Such beautiful stories once again, and I can't believe that, like they both said, it's about the friendships and the sisterhoods that you make along this journey as well. So we all have one common interest and goal, is literally to give back to this earth, whether it be people, the nature, the animals, anything. We're always giving back, and that's what we're here for.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Is there any other questions? Yes.
Actually, I've got a long list of questions for them. But yeah, as you mentioned earlier, you stayed in the Philippines for quite some time, almost 2 months. And you know that the Philippines is highly vulnerable to climate change and the impacts of climate change, like the typhoons and rising sea levels. How do you think Australia and the Philippines can collaborate to address those shared environmental challenges?
Thank you so much. You're absolutely right. While I was there for not even 2 months, I saw 6 typhoons. This is unlike anything I could have imagined, and my heart goes out to the victims. It really is so upsetting. It gets me a bit emotional thinking about, because we did do a little bit of relief work and I would have loved to do more, but with the time that we had, we provided food and clothing resources for people who've lost their own. I suppose that in itself is a great example of what people can do. If they haven't got the money to make a difference, if they haven't got the financial situation, they can provide their time, they can go to shelters, give back to the community in volunteering efforts. As we are inherently so fortunate to be living in Australia, I think it's our duty to protect our neighbour and one another. As you mentioned earlier, sustainability and respect go hand in hand. I think that caring for one another does help care for our planet, and it shows that you are a greater human and you have a caring heart. I believe that as Australians we need to look more into climate refugees. As Philippines is a series of islands, they are at serious risk of being underwater in no time. We're seeing it already. There's this one particular island that's probably going to be submerged in the next 150 years. This is just heartbreaking, and we need to have systems in place as we know this is coming. We as Australians with so much land, so much wealth and so much generosity need to have systems in place to give back to these climate refugees and hopefully provide them with a future home and sustainability. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, Mark. Selena.
Selena, Miss International Australia. Also, the fact that you have been in Japan, can you tell us the feeling of self-discipline and the cleanliness and the honesty of Japan? Would that be a very impressive feeling, or it could be a cultural shock? Can you tell me more about it?
Japan had actually been on my bucket list of places I've wanted to go to for a long time, and honestly it did not let me down at all. You'd be amazed to know that there's no bins on the street at all, and there's such a clean place. There's no litter on the ground. Now in Australia, it's sad to see if we did not have bins, it would be a very different story. So I think we need to take on some aspects that Japan has enacted like that. But the most impactful place that I attended was actually Fukushima. Now, if you know, there was the tsunami that really devastated the lands there. And we got to attend the nuclear plant and the land surrounding it and seeing the devastating impacts that they had. And we actually went to a winery there where there was no winery there before the tsunami, but they put it in so people could come back to the land. And now, coming from someone who has 2 degrees in business, innovation and entrepreneurship, I'm interested in the business side of things. And I asked the man, who are your competitors in the land? And he said, we don't have competitors, just friends. We work together for a common goal. And I think this is something that Australia should enact. We can all work together towards a common goal, and I think we'll be stronger together.
I would like to call on Tita Juliet to come to the panel. Give a little message to the girls.
I don't know what can I say, because I'm so proud of them, especially Selena and Jessica, because we've been together for almost how many months in Philippines, and oh my God, I'm so happy and proud of them. Thank you so much, girls, to do that. The Stargazer production is very proud of you. Sorry for some other things because I'm not feeling well. So yeah, thank you so much, my darling.
Love you.
This is, well, more about Australia's strategy, because we know that Australia is emphasizing of reaching net zero by 2050. But in your role as Miss Earth or Miss International, how can you amplify the awareness about this target and maybe encourage community participation?
Thank you. That's a really important question, and I'm so proud of Australia for having that goal. I know that Most countries in the world have their own net zero goals, and although they're at varying rates, I'm proud that we're all aware that change needs to happen. That's where it starts. I believe there are a lot of environmental crises that people just simply aren't educated about, and the education system in that regard does need to be improved. So that's one aspect I'd like to encourage, and that is part of the activities coming up, so I can't give too much away, but there's a lot of good stuff coming. But I believe that as Selena and I now have these platforms, we have a responsibility to shed our knowledge and the knowledge that we continue to learn with the people who follow us on our journey. It's a very large part of my advocacy Dress for Tomorrow is surrounding that lack of education. I can guarantee that most people I talk to don't know how big of an impact their fashion choices have on our environment. It's just something that's not talked about, you know, and there's a lot that we can change. We're all aware of issues in our local area and overarching industrial issues that promote climate emissions, but simple actions like our fashion choices, like the food that we buy and the gifts that we give, they do have an impact. So I believe that it's personally my responsibility to shed light on these issues, and I will continue doing so. I think that every mega action has a mega impact, and we can all create that change if we just put our hearts and minds to it. It's not too difficult, and it's really about negligence. I think that we all say, what does my action do? What difference do I make? But when 7 billion people say that, that's the whole earth creating negative problems. If we all come together and say, what else can I do? What can I do for good? That'll make a true change, and I hope to continue that journey and hopefully influence people on that path.
Yeah, so continuing on what Jess said, it's important that we use our platform for good and using it for educational purposes and really understanding the impact of our decisions and our life choices, because every day we have a choice, and if we make these choices mindful about our future and not just for today, I think will lead to a more peaceful and prosperous community. And I just finished my 2 degrees in business, innovation and entrepreneurship, and I won't share too much, but I have plans for starting potentially a sustainable clothing business in the future. So I won't share too much, but yeah, making choices for tomorrow, not just today. Yeah.
I love how you guys could work together on that.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else would like to ask some questions? If not, okay. Is everyone content with all they heard today? Yes? So I thank you so much for coming.
Oh, we just want to say we're so proud of you too. I mean, you just made Australia proud. I mean, it has been a while since we had a proper winner out there for us representing Australia. You guys did really, really well. I saw you guys in the Philippines, gave you guys a good Aussie cheer, and you guys did well.
Thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
for that.
Yes. Thank you so much, girls, for taking your time to be here today and talk about advocacies and also doing the world a justice. Thank you so much for that.
Thank
I would
you.
like to also thank everyone else here for being here today, taking the time to listen to these girls and actually take in what they're saying. And I hope you carry those values with you through your daily lives as well. So thank you so much, and let's just celebrate.
Just following up in the friendship, you've been with too many girls competing, but what amazed me is that at the end you become really close. I mean, I can see a sample here, right? What I saw when the New Zealand girl started dancing was heartbreaking. I just wanted to see. I just want to understand how was you feeling, how was the emotion there. I saw it and for me was so impactful and so beautiful, having someone that she didn't win but she gave you all the energy. How do you feel about that friendship that you made there? Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. That's a multifaceted question, and I have a few answers for you actually, but starting with that beautiful moment of the haka. It had been only minutes since they had called me as winner, and the photographers are telling us, do your walk, have your moment, get your photos, and suddenly I just hear screaming to my right and turn around, and Miss New Zealand, Angela, is there, bawling her eyes out, staring right at me into my heart and soul, and doing the most expressive haka I've ever seen. Photographers tried to get her off stage, they didn't know what was happening, and I just said, you guys can wait. This is the most beautiful celebration of culture and respect. Not a lot of people are ever lucky enough to have that happen, to even see that in person. And considering this year's Miss Earth theme was heritage, and Angela is Maori, it was so meaningful to me. I made incredible friends along the journey. It was truly unexpected. As I mentioned, I've not been a pageant girl before. I sort of came into this with a bit of a miscongeniality mindset going, what do I have to do to get these girls to like me? I don't want any sabotage, and there wasn't an ounce of it. Everyone was there for good reasons. They all had big hearts, and I made friends that I hope to keep with me my whole life. Miss New Zealand, as you said, the haka, that was when it hit me that I'd won. And that was the only time all night that I cried. It was so meaningful. And every time I got through, she made it to top 20. And every time I made it through to a new round, she was backstage with new makeup, jewelry, helping me get ready always. She gave me the backing of her own earring because I couldn't find mine. That is friendship. And I could not be more grateful to the Miss Earth organisation for bringing this. It really is an international conference of intelligent and passionate women. And I'm so fortunate to walk away with 76 new friends.
At the end of the day, you are the winner, but I believe all together we can do more. And I believe this is what this is about. It's not about how can I win or how can be the best. How can we together can change the air and make it better. And thank you for that.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree more. It's a collaborative experience, and it's a big part of my mission, not only as Miss Earth, but my life's mission is to show everyone that we need to come together, that there is power in numbers, and if we all have the passion to use our voice to protect our Earth, we can actually save it. So thank you so much.
My name is Yelixa Martinez. I'm director of Dynasty Empire Legacy. And this company has 2 major pageants now internationally, and I would like to know from Selena and Jessica, what are the recommendations that you will give to the girls to be so successful like you, and what do you think Australia is lacking in beauty pageants that you can improve to make Australia more international like you are doing now?
Yeah, so we actually Jessica and I both went to the Philippines, Salamat po. We both went to the Philippines to see our trainer RL, and he was life-changing to me. He wasn't just only my pageant trainer, he was like a best friend by the end of it. So I think it's important that through creating recognition of pageantry here, we can also have people who may be too scared to put their hand up to be a pageant trainer and really put themselves out there, because there's a lot that can be learned that Australia doesn't know about pageantry, and changing those stereotypes here, that it's not just a beauty pageant, it's also advocacy and self-development. And I think changing those by educating on those parts will be better here. But also I think we could also have better designers and that kind of thing as well. So I actually travelled to Vietnam for some clothes, Philippines. So I think we don't quite have the resources here in Australia yet. But I think by even Jessica winning, we are creating more recognition to make a difference here.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, for, as you said, people who may want to follow their own dreams in not only pageantry, but whatever goals that they have and maybe too shy to do, I plead with everyone to just have faith in yourself. At the end of the day, you are your strongest strength and your biggest enemy. I think there is no one like oneself to tell you that you can do it or you can't. You're always the voice inside your head, and if you make that conscious decision to tell yourself that you can do it, chances are you can. I did not walk into Miss Earth Australia thinking I was going to go away with the crown, nor did I go into Miss Earth thinking I would. I actually thought, I was saying to some of the girls, I didn't really learn the final choreography because I didn't think I'd make it that far. I just wanted to make as much of a difference as I could with the platform that I had and to make friends. But by telling myself that the worst comes to worst as I walk away with friends and not filling myself with doubts and insecurities, waking up every day and saying, I can do this because I am me and nobody else is. And then I did it. So I would just, implore every young person who's listening to that message to just, we're all the same and different, and that's what makes us strong, is by embracing those differences but believing that no one is more special than you are. Just have that faith.
And I want to do a follow-up question about that. In which specific moment you realize it could be me?
Well,
When did you realize that?
that's a great question. When I started the Miss Earth journey, I wasn't on any of the hot picks. And I know that they don't count, so I didn't mind one bit. But the first time I had an interview, I was suddenly in top 20. Next interview, top 10. And by week 2, I was in the top 4 of most hot picks. It was at this time I realized something about pageantry that I'd heard but not seen, and that is that it is not skin deep. It is so much more than that. Every time I used my voice and spoke out about the change that we need to make in the world and how passionate I am, I would make my way, thank you so much, I would make my way up those hot picks, and that just showed me that the Miss Earth community valued intelligence and passion so much more than they may good looks. And this was, I suppose that's when I thought, I may have a chance, because I knew that I have the love of our earth to hopefully inspire people, and I'd like to say the knowledge to do so. But when it came to coronation night, I'm not sure if you saw, I was quite sick. I had no voice. I'm an ex-competitive swimmer, and my family has an expression, leave it all in the pool, meaning it doesn't matter if you get out that pool coming first, second, third, as long as you get out like you're about to pass out, you gave it everything you've got. And I can put my hand on my heart and say I gave Miss Earth everything I had. So when it came to coronation night, I had nothing left to give. So I was so pleased that despite having no voice, the judges heard the passion and the love in my voice, because that was my biggest fear, is that speaking is where I stand out because people can see that I'm very genuine and very passionate. And I was terrified having no voice. So after making it through top 8, I sort of thought, may have a chance, but it never really clicks. Even minutes after they announced Miss Earth Australia, I didn't really click, and I'm sure one day it will, but until then, I'll just keep trying to earn it and make everybody proud.
Yes.
Thank you. You're so welcome.
Australia is not known for being a pageant, they're not very strong at pageantry and stuff like that. What would you say to all aspiring Aussies that would like to be part of this, this kind of platform? Because everybody can be in social media, everybody can, do all those kind of things. What would you think would make the big difference being in this platform?
Well, I do hope that being an Australian who's taken home the crown for the first time in 20 years, I do hope that makes a bit of a difference in the local industry. However, thank you. However, I do believe that Australia is a bit of a workaholic nation. We pride ourselves in our work and our dedication and the outcome. So I would say to all young people who want to follow in these footsteps, who want to become a queen of their own, that it is a hard job, and it's so incredibly rewarding. It's not just getting up and putting on some makeup. You have to believe in yourself and have that passion and have strength. It's a bit of a marathon, and that makes it all the more exciting. I do believe that here in Australia, we cherish honesty, and that may be part of the reason that pageantry hasn't taken off, is it has got those stereotypes surrounding it. But I hope that as I've come home an Australian with the crown, I can show people the authentic side of it and be genuine and honest about how incredible this platform is for young women, for camaraderie, for making a difference. I've always wanted to save the earth and I never knew how. And if it weren't for pageantry, I wouldn't have this platform. If it weren't for Stargazer here in Australia, I wouldn't have had the opportunity. It's beyond incredible, and I do hope that it continues to grow over the years. But in the meantime, I just urge everybody to follow those dreams, follow those goals, and maybe they'll make it, I believe.
So I believe in the quote, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So I actually come from a basketball background. I played college basketball in both Texas and Kansas. So I'm standing here as not your typical pageant girl. And I think it's important to send that message to people across Australia that you can be anyone. You can be a doctor, you can be an artist, you can be a basketball player, but you can still stand up here and do pageantry as well. So I think it's important to be a multifaceted person, and you're not just your external beauty. So I've chosen to use pageantry as more of my voice. Basketball was my skill. I like to use my voice for change. So I think believe in yourself and you're halfway there.
Just going back to your advocacies, both of you, you're holding like both global platforms. How do you plan to collaborate with other nations and other advocates to address international challenges?
Who would like to go first?
Sure. So my advocacy aligns with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal number 5 on gender equality and the empowerment of women and girls. Now, here in Australia, although we've made advancements, which I'm proud of, we are still so far from reaching gender equality. So I've been partnering with Dress for Success, our local company, and this helps bring women into the workforce. So this is also an international organisation. I'd be so pleased to contribute internationally with this as well. So we've really changed women's lives. So we're helping women get into the workforce, whether they've had domestic violence situations, they've never had a job before, or they have no self-confidence in themselves. And we really do a lot for them. We dress them in clothes that's donated by the community, but we also give them life skills. So we're teaching them how to be in an interview, how to talk to people, and how to really educate yourself about this. So I'm really proud of the advancements I've made in my community, but I'm also looking forward to taking this internationally.
Beautiful. Well, I struggle to answer that a little bit because there is some things in the works right now that I can't discuss until they're official. So I would just recommend everybody keep an eye on my page, the Miss Earth Australia page. There's some very exciting things coming. But as Miss Earth, I'll be doing a bit of travel this year to other nations that host their Miss Earth nationally. And I hope that while I'm there, I can partner with their organisations, their non-profits, and hopefully be a bit of a figurehead for how you can give back when travelling, especially volunteering in local communities and trying to make that difference. I have been so inspired by the girls that I've met on this journey. Their advocacies are all so different, as coming from different parts of the world, you obviously have different priorities, different backgrounds, and each of these advocacies are in turn essential and so important, yet come from such a diverse range. For example, Miss USA with climate refugees in comparison to Miss Wales on pollinating pathways and the importance of preserving our native bees. These are two things that I myself may have not learnt without them. And I think it's so essential as an international figure and as just a normal person as well, to keep your mind open and to keep listening to people. You never know when you'll be influenced or inspired. And I believe that being limited starts with thinking you know it all. So I would really recommend people to continue that